Asha is taking her first step as CEO of Xbox, revealing Project Helix, my friends. It's happening. It's happening. Now, obviously, it goes, or at least it should go without saying, this was in the works well before she took over, okay? So it's not like this is her baby, okay? This has been rumored for like a year and a half that this is the direction they're going, but it is significant that this is being revealed right after she takes over and that she is being very visible in the presentation of it. She is putting her name on it, and I think it goes to show that this is part of her vision for the platform. What is this vision? Well, Asha said, great start to the morning with Team Xbox, where we talked about our commitment to the return of Xbox, including Project Helix, the code name for our next generation console. Project Helix will lead in performance and play your Xbox and PC games. Looking forward to chatting about this more with partners and studios at my first GDC next week. Now, I know people that are going to GDC. These meetings with like Xbox have been scheduled for months, okay? Like, so this has been in the works since well before she took over, okay? Just to be clear. But there's a couple of key phrases. We're about to get into some of the actual discussions of what Project Helix is going to be. But real quick, a thank you to our sponsor, Ludio. Ludio is a cutting-edge gaming technology company that allows developers and creators to share small moments of gameplay directly with players. We've all been in that position where we're wondering if a game is worth playing or not, and we wish we could just try it without having to download 100 gigs or worry about a return policy. Well, Ludio fixes that. You see, with Ludio, you're able to share playable moments, is what they call them. You load them in your browser, you just click play, and then it counts down and you load straight into the game, able to play it yourself without having to download a thing. It's genuinely really, really cool. And if you want to try it for yourself, they've included 3 different little demos for you to try right now, linked below for free. You just open it in your browser and you see what it's like. They are currently in beta, but they're already working with partners like Crafton, like IO Interactive, and many, many more. So check them out at the link in the video description box below. And again, thank you to Ludio for sponsoring this video. Number 1, it's the commitment to the return of Xbox. This, to me, saying the return of Xbox is tied to our next generation console. That, to me, again, signals we're not doing the like everything is an Xbox thing. The departure of Sarah Bond, who very visibly and publicly attached her name to that, I think is part of the reason that she's not there anymore. I think it's pretty clear they're pivoting away from that approach. It just wasn't working. Like, even if you can see the vision, and even if you can agree with the idea that, yeah, you should be able to play Xbox games on the cloud and on your phone and on the console and on PC, which is all great. The messaging was bad. It just devalued what it is. It's like the McDonald's CEO calling a burger a product. Is it technically accurate? Yeah, but you shouldn't be surprised when people hear that and go, ew. Yeah, and that's what happened with Xbox, is that they framed it as everything's an Xbox, which kind of turns it into nothing being an Xbox. There's no point to own a console. There's no point in attaching to the brand, because if everything is the brand, nothing is. You know, it devalues it. So she's attaching herself very publicly to this, and this is what they're calling it, Project Helix. Now, also at the same time, she's appearing at inside internal Xbox town hall meetings with the CEO Satya Nadella, wearing, you know, a big Xbox hoodie, signaling that he is very much on board with Asha as the CEO and with her vision and the direction they are taking it. Now, we're going to get into specifics in just a second with the Verge article on this, but once again, let's remove what we want to be true with what is factually true. Remove the speculation. We know Satya's all AI all the time. He really wants people to stop calling it AI slop. Really doesn't like micro slop. Really doesn't like that term, which is why it's so funny that people started flooding his social media with it after he said people need to stop calling it micro slop. It's really offensive. It's everybody, micro slop everywhere. But he is all AI all the time. It is literally the foundation of their multi-trillion-dollar business at this point. He put in charge of Xbox Asha Sharma, who was just a few weeks ago the head of Core AI. Core AI within Microsoft was a team of a few hundred people, and their job was to create AI tools and AI agents, which are able to do the jobs of people, effectively replacing them. So you can create agents that are powered by Microsoft AI tools to complete various tasks and jobs. So you can have AI agents for customer service, AI agents for QA, where they can like take control of a controller and test games. So you don't need a QA department. The robots will do it instead. Like that was her basis, was creating AI tool sets like that. Okay. These are facts. Now, do I think she's coming in and, she's also said that she wants to go back to the essentials of Xbox. She wants to find the, what did she call it? She called it like the something spirit, the rebellious spirit or something like that. It's all talk. It's all talk. Okay. Here's what I think is going to happen. I think they will return to focusing on like the Xbox console, Xbox as a platform. Instead of everything's an Xbox, it's this amorphous thing. They're going to try to make it an actual brand instead of just being everything. So I think they will do significant rebranding around Xbox. Does that mean that they're going to back off of like cross-platform stuff, back off bringing stuff to PlayStation? That one, I think it's likely that most of the stuff in the next couple of years has already been set in stone. But I think next generation, all bets are off. Next generation, they could go and be like, nope, we're going to have exclusives on Xbox and PC. And they're going to try to win back market share. It's just been clear, not having console exclusives at all means very few people find it justified to buy your console. Like that, you don't have to like exclusives yourself. The data shows the more Microsoft has backed away from exclusives and has gone open platform, the less consoles they sell. Because what does everybody say? Well, if there's no reason to get an Xbox, then I'll just get a PC, or I'll get a PlayStation because everything on Xbox will end up going there. And PlayStation has exclusives, at least, timed exclusives. So I'm better off there. And so there's no reason to be in their ecosystem. There's no reason to be on their platform. And I think Satya's realized this, and they're going to pivot. So I think that they're going to do some stuff like that. They're going to do fan servicey stuff, but don't get it twisted. She is still an AI shark. He's still an AI shark. They're still going to be putting AI in everything, the whole workflow. Every studio is going to need to be using Copilot. Every studio is going to need to be able to justify to their managers at Microsoft how AI is improving their workflow and increasing productivity and stuff. They're going to do both. Okay. Don't think that like magically she's going to step in and be like, let's go back to 2006. There's a reason she was put in position and not somebody within Xbox. Okay. There's a reason. There's a reason the AI executive was given that role. Now, what is specifically going on? Let's see. So they teased this next generation Xbox in this way. And as you can see, this is from The Verge. Microsoft has already indicated that the next Xbox will be some kind of hybrid console, with a hybrid between console and PC, with former Xbox president Sarah Bond also saying that the next gen console is going to be very premium, very high-end, curated experience. This is also a translation, so translation from corpo speak. Expensive. And also super expensive. That's what I read it as. The expectation, like from insiders, is that this is well over $1,000. This is probably like a $1,200 machine. And it will be a hybrid PC console device. Now, I'm going to be real about this. I'm going to get truthful with you. Listen now. Can you tell I've been watching Righteous Gemstones? Uncle Baby Billy. Listen now. Okay. I think this sounds cool. Honestly, if I have a console that is powerful enough to run my Steam games and I can hook it up to my TV without having to make a separate gaming PC just for playing Steam games in front of the TV, that's cool. That's why I was also interested in the Steam machine, but frankly, I think the Steam machine is going to be too weak for what I would want to get out of it. So this, to me, honestly, sounds cool. This is the type of device that I would actually buy within the Xbox ecosystem. And what they're expected to do is to basically take all the extra crap within Windows 11 and strip that out so that you can see massive performance hikes, which is what we've already seen them experiment with on the ROG Xbox Ally X. They're great at naming. But that's their vision, is to basically strip out all these parts of Windows you don't use for gaming, just leave it as a PC that's able to run things like Steam, Battle.net, Riot, whatever it is. They can run all those platforms and launchers, but it's also got like the big picture mode like Steam has, but for Xbox. So you'll be able to play anything on the Xbox Store with Xbox Play Anywhere. on that platform. But if you want to load into Steam, it's maybe hold down the home button, tab over to Windows mode, and then launch that and play your games that way. That sounds baller, okay? It depends on how powerful it is, but here is what makes this actually potentially compelling, okay? You ready? Listen now. With everything being stupid expensive, RAM, storage, anything NAND related, like anything, all silicon. The big players have an advantage over the little players. Apple, Microsoft, NVIDIA, AMD, they have massive advantages when going to TSMC and ordering hardware and chips and things, going to Samsung saying, hey, we need more storage. They have a lot of bargaining power because they can order in massive volume and bulk. And they can lean on that, lean into it to get better deals. And by going with massive scale, they can reduce the overall cost. So you very well could end up in a position where the Xbox Helix, whatever it ends up actually being called, is able to perform at a level of a PC that is like $500 more expensive, especially if things continue to be this pricey, because Xbox or Microsoft can order so many more to like level out the pricing. It still will be very expensive, but you could reasonably get to a point where it's like to do a PC would be like $1,700, $1,800 to perform at the same level, or you can buy the Microsoft Helix for $1,200 or $1,100 or $1,000 or whatever it is, to get the same experience all in this Xbox wrapper, clean and simple. That could give them a very serious competitive advantage over people buying and building their own PCs at home. Again, assuming market conditions stay relatively similar to how they are now. In her first memo after taking over as Microsoft's gaming boss, Sharma said that one of her big three commitments was the return of Xbox, saying that, quote, we will celebrate our roots with a renewed commitment to Xbox, starting with the console, which has shaped who we are. And this does seem to be part of the vision. Again, they're still going to be putting everything on cloud, like xCloud. They're not getting rid of xCloud. But I do think that they're going to stop talking about it like everything's an Xbox. Your refrigerator is not an Xbox. Your TV is not an Xbox. They're going to rebrand from that because it's pretty clear that branding turned into a joke. People mocked it openly. And like even now it's a joke of like, hold on, I have to grab my Xbox. Okay. Like it's like a running gag of how stupid that messaging was. It was just a bad idea. It didn't work. While she acknowledged in her memo that gaming now lives across devices, not within the limits of any single piece of hardware, seemingly a nod to Xbox's recent push beyond consoles and making its games available on competitors' platforms, she has indicated that she's open. It's a typo. She's indicated that she's open fans' complaints about the lack of Xbox exclusives. Open to fans' complaints. Sharma didn't share specific details about when Project Helix might launch. In early February, AMD hinted that it would be ready to support a launch in 2027, though it's unclear if that's when the console will actually be available. PlayStation is reportedly considering pushing back the debut of its next console to as late as 2029 due to the RAM crisis, which 2029 would surprise me. 2028, I've been guesstimating is what they're going to land on, but we'll see. But this has also been the speculation for a couple of years, is that Microsoft would have a hardware update before PlayStation does. What that does, I don't know, man. Like, honest question. I need everybody in chat to tell me. If for years, it's been like literally since the start of console gaming, it's been that all the big players update at about the same time so that you have a moment to pick a side, right? PS4 and Xbox One launch, same season. Same with the 360 PS3, same season. Direct responses to each other. This could be different. So if they were to launch the Project Helix in, let's say, late 2027, but the PlayStation 6 isn't coming out until 2028 in the fall, does that change a purchasing decision? Like, are you more likely to buy a 3 or an Xbox console if it comes before a PlayStation, or are you more likely to hold off to wait until like the PS6 launches? I'm not sure. Like, if it's framed as this is the next generation of gaming hardware and it's very open and it's very high performance, I could see people with expendable income being interested in it. and showing up and buying it. But I'm not sure if that actually like moves the needle. No Xbox, just PC. Depends on when the GameCube comes out. Fair. Depends on the price. Not at all. I'm good with my PC. A lot of people have their PlayStation libraries. Well, that's a big thing that you probably can't move. But maybe that's part of the strategy is for Xbox. They're like, we're not going to take people away from PlayStation. But if we launch before, we're not replacing their PlayStation. We are now like trying to create the ultimate high fidelity option that's significantly better than like the PS5 Pro. Because here's the deal. I personally think that if they can launch and they have the definitive best platform to play games on console, if they have the best console performance by a good margin, which they could easily do with what they're talking about doing, especially if they're targeting like a $1,200 price point, they could very, very easily have it. So all of those game previews, all of the trailers and stuff, they'll be putting it on the new Xbox Helix because it's where their game is going to look the best. Just like if you remember way back in the day with the Xbox One X, that was the best console in terms of raw power. It was more powerful than the PS4 Pro. It was more powerful than anything else on the market. And so a lot of games started using that to demo and preview their games, even though like it wasn't like the main console. That's what they were using to demonstrate how good their game looked. And so it could be a good thing in terms of branding if they were to launch earlier, have that be like the definitive console. I mean, and the other obvious piece of this is that it's not really like they're competing with PlayStation at the moment. You know, yes, if they wait to launch until right next to the PlayStation 6, yes, that does create this moment where people have to choose between the two. But do I think anybody really cares? Not really, frankly. At the GDC Festival of Gaming next week, Jason Ronald, Xbox's VP of Next Generation, who also reposted Sharma's tweet, is hosting a talk titled Building for the Future of Xbox, or with Xbox. Join us for a conversation about the visions shaping the future of Xbox and how we're building a more flexible, connected future for game creators and players everywhere, according to description of the session. Hopefully we'll get more details about Helix there, which I think we will. They'll give us all of the info. I think it's going to be really fascinating to see how this breaks down. But like, I'm going to be honest, just looking at it from my personal perspective, the Steam machine is a solid little bugger, a solid little fella. But I don't think that's not going to be the thing you buy if you want to play AAA games at high fidelity on your massive TV. Like, it's just not. If you're looking for a premium experience, the only other option for you right now is to basically go and build a custom gaming PC that you set up next to your TV on your media center and play that way. That is doable, but even then you're running on Windows. It's like going to be kind of a hassle. It's far from ideal. The idea of this as a one-stop, open the box, plug it in, and it plays all of your Steam games and anything on Xbox. It can play anything on any other launcher, and it can do it in like pretty damn high fidelity. Not to mention, there will probably be performance optimizations specifically for it as well, which is also a massive bonus. So that, to me, considering I would not have considered, if they were just going to do the Xbox Series Y and Series Z, I would not have been that interested in it at all. Because there's just, again, literally no reason to have it. But this is something I would actually consider buying if it ends up being powerful and giving me that couch experience, but with the power of a PC and the convenience and platforms of a PC. So that is very interesting. Yeah, but you're still gonna have to deal with Windows and all of its crappy updates. Potentially, what they claim and what the rumors and speculation is that they will specifically be stripping out all of those typical Windows frustrations and the things that you don't need for gaming and leaving it just as the meat and potatoes of what you need to actually run the games on the platform. In theory, it's the console experience, but it's technically under the hood running Windows, and you can launch everything else. But what they've said is that their engineers are working very, very hard to specifically make it so that you have a console-like experience, even if it's technically running Windows. That's the vision. That's the vision, at least. Let's chat M with Jay. Thank you for the 10. If they made Clockwork, ES6, and Blade exclusive to Xbox and PC, it would make a lot of people buy it. They don't have to make everything exclusive. That's the problem though, is making some stuff exclusive and some stuff not. That mixed messaging doesn't help anything. Like we saw the whole start of this generation, nobody knew what the hell was going on, because I don't think they knew what the hell was going on. They're like, yeah, this might be exclusive, this might not, this might eventually come to PlayStation, it might never come, who knows. But I think they just got to be clear. That's one of my hopes with the new leadership, is that there's no more mixed messaging. They just set what the goal is, they stick to it the whole generation, and that's my hope.
He took my thing.